Chevrolet finally breaks through in the NASCAR season. They earned their first victory of the season at Martinsville with Chase Elliott. We are going to break down that strategy call, as well as Denny Hamlin kind of giving up that dominating victory that he was about to get. And another test, another NASCAR race with this higher horsepower. Was it a good show? Did it make it better? Is it still the same kind of boring NASCAR next gen racing? I think that's what Alex thinks. He was not very impressed. Welcome back to the Gay Racing Podcast. Zack and Alex are back with you as always to talk about NASCAR at Martinsville. Oh yeah, IndyCar was at Barber Motorsports Park, by the way.
Well,
in case you forgot,
we kind of had two stinkers today, so
we'll get that. We get that every now and then. It happens. At least we get an Easter break, and if you still do want to watch good racing, Xfinity will be at Rockingham. But
listen. Can we have what Formula One has? Can we have a month off?
but well, we'll see. We would miss Bristol. Okay, well, you're cooking. You're cooking. Is it Kansas soon?
Kansas is the week after Bristol.
Yeah, it's like sooner this year. It's like in April.
It's in April. Weird. I'm hoping it ain't raining. It could either be raining or 90 degrees. So
yeah. Let's talk NASCAR at Martinsville, because I find it super fascinating that Chase Elliott won this race, because this 9 team has been struggling to win races consistently. This was definitely, this win kind of came out of nowhere with their strategy call. They end their winless streak. This is the farthest they've went into a season without
Hendrick Motorsports.
Yes, since 2019, Chevrolet as well. And what's crazy to me is the reason that Chase Elliott won this race is the number one public enemy of the Chase Elliott fans, Alan Gustafson.
Which I don't think is warranted at all, by the way. I don't know why they don't like him so much.
Because it's just like, if you were Dale Jr.'s crew chief, right? He's always going to be the scapegoat.
That's true.
He's always going to be why Chase Elliott doesn't win. But today he's why they won. They ran a really weird strategy in stage 3, and it got them track position temporarily. They caught a lucky caution with some debris that came off Ty Dillon's car.
By the way, NASCAR was not throwing that caution right away. I thought they were going to, once the 10 car was just really slow for a minute, and then the tire was on fire as it was coming into the pits. I thought for sure they were going to throw the caution a lot earlier, and they didn't, but they had to once there was debris. The debris Fox showed was in the pits, which I guess you could say is a little weird, but I don't know if you want someone walking onto an active pit lane. Like, is that in the rule book? Can NASCAR just feel like, we're going to close the pit lane for a second?
It's one of those situations where it's like, I wish oval racing could have like a virtual safety car where it's like,
right.
Can it just be like, I don't know. It would be so hard to do that, technology and stuff. But either way, Chase Elliott was not one of the best cars today. Hendrick was doing all right, but it was a Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs show. Toyota was fast, of course.
Chase Elliott got 0 stage points today, while Denny Hamlin swept the stages.
Right.
And Zach, this is a rare instance with our current format where Denny Hamlin actually did score the most points today.
Really? Because he got the fastest lap, I guess, too.
Fastest lap. He swept the stages with 20 points. And Chase Elliott got 0 stage points. He got 1 more point than Chase Elliott did today.
Right. Sorry, I was doing the math in my head. But, wow, that's cool. That's kind of cool.
This is a rare anomaly where that can happen in this format.
And it happens in race 7. It only took 7 races for it to happen. That's kind of cool. It's very that kind of tells the story of what this race was, because Denny Hamlin should have won this race. And just looking back, sure, the caution comes out, whatever. Ross Chastain staying out is also kind of the second factor of, I think, Denny Hamlin losing control of this race, because it just added a little bit. Go ahead.
Denny also missed a shift on the restart before that.
Yeah. Just
because him and Chastain on the front row, and it allowed Chastain to actually hold position, and Chase got ahead of Denny because of the missed shift Denny had.
God, that's going to I know that's going to bug the hell out of Denny, because Denny Hamlin already loses races when he shouldn't be. Like, that's just his whole thing. The championship last year is just one of many examples. And we came into the season talking about his mentality, and obviously he's got a great mentality overall, but just a rough offseason, a rough championship loss. He proved at Las Vegas he still has it. He's still capable to win races.
He proved today he still has it. I know he didn't close it out, but leading 292 of 400 laps, that's nothing to, be upset about, really.
I'm a little concerned because, and I need to wait for Denny to talk about this on his podcast, but would Denny have ran that last run different? Like if he had to do it over again? Because I'm wondering if he remember he was super aggressive at the beginning of that last run. Like he wasted no time getting by Ross Chastain, which fair enough. Mm-hmm. You get stuck behind him. But I feel like he was just running so hard to try to catch that 9 car as soon as possible. I wonder if Denny would have just ran that differently. I don't have anything else to say on that. That's just a question I have. I was wondering if you have any thoughts on that.
I mean, he did door Ryan Blaney. That was on right after one of the restarts. And a lot of 12 fans were very upset by that. I really wasn't upset by it personally as a Blaney fan.
He's kind of driving a little desperate.
Yeah, like I think that's just more of a short track thing. Like, was it probably unnecessary and aggressive? Yeah, but also he had just led 292 laps, and he was probably upset. Does Ryan probably owe him one now? Yeah.
See, that's what I'm kind of worried about.
Thing to me.
Like, I don't know if Denny needed to. And that's all fair. In all, still getting second is fine. Him dooring Blaney is a whole thing, right? Because now, is that going to come back to them? But I feel like they're mature enough. Ryan's a really clean racer. I don't think he's going to hold on to that. But it's also just, man, I feel like Denny Hamlin should have won that race. The 9 car was not fast. And I know people on Twitter are like, oh, the next gen package still sucks at short tracks, dirty air, blah, blah, blah. And I know that was a factor, but I almost wonder if Denny Hamlin just got a little too cocky and just didn't run that last stint how he should have. But I need to hear him say that on his podcast. I don't want to. I'm just a gay guy with a microphone right now, making a lot of assumptions. So
yeah. Well, yeah. This weekend, Denny did earn his 49th career pole. I want to highlight that because he's now 10th most all time in that category, which I didn't really see had that many poles.
I find that neat that he's like, I got another pole, because who knows how many poles he's gonna get. You never know when your last pole's gonna come. I'm just saying.
Like your wins, you never know.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about Chase Elliott before we focus more in on the Blaney Hamlin incident?
In defense of Chase Elliott, it's Hendrick Motorsports at Martinsville. Chase Elliott made 0 mistakes in that last run. Like they gave Chase the ball and he ran with it and he did exactly what he needed to do. That's
for not having the best car, he managed to hold on to that position over the best car.
Like
you can say what you want about the aero package, but it's still an impressive feat.
He pulled a Joey Logano. Low key,
yeah.
And I thought Joey Logano was actually going to pull a Joey Logano today, but no, that was just really impressive from the 9 team, and it's why if they keep themselves consistent enough in the points, and we'll look at the points in a little bit. But
speak of Logano, but though, what a rebound from running like last all day at Darlington to being top 5 all day. He doesn't not run top 5 all day anymore. It's usually like the last 100 laps he shows up if he does. So good run for Logano. But we had a comment here from Patreon member Edward about the Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin situation. Edward did say that he is a Blaney fan, so he may be biased. But he says, upset at Hamlin for driving Blaney into the wall. They were rubbing, but they were equal, and Hamlin couldn't pass him clean, so he did it dirty.
I feel like that was more of just a racing incident.
Same.
But it's also, again, Denny being desperate on that situation, which he has every right to be because it's like the wind's kind of being taken away from him. But we all still have to share the track. I think Kevin Harvick did a really good job kind of explaining what happened because they just it's like Denny was kind of getting hooked a little bit by Blaney. And then it's like it's so hard to just get off of him and get the car kind of steered back more to the left at that point, especially on corner exit. I think it is a racing incident, but it does suck if you're a Blaney fan. And where did Blaney finish today? Because he finished,
I believe, 6th.
He finished. Blaney, he was better than 6th. Yeah. Like, that sucks. Like that just sucks. And I said earlier, Blaney's probably not going to hold that against Hamlin, but that's the thing with this new point system in these championship battles. I think that matters. These points matter.
It does.
Especially if that were to happen in the chase. It's like, or if it happens again, then Blaney's really going to get pissed.
Speak of points mattering, Bubba Wallace triggered this multi-car crash. It seemingly was in revenge to Carson Hocevar. I did see a clip of his in-car that made it look not as bad as it looked on TV. But Bubba Wallace has fallen to 11th in points. He's been second basically all season so far. He's now 11th after this.
Yeah, and that's kind of that sucks. That whole incident was a little unnecessary, especially when Bubba's the one paying the price for it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really catch what did he say in his interview? Like, did he
said that he said he misjudged the corner.
Sure.
And that he was frustrated, which yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
nothing I didn't know.
Patreon member Edward has another comment. This one's about this incident. Said, "What the hell was up with Bubba? I misjudged the corner. He drove straight through Hocevar. Bubba, I feel, could have been a top 10 or top 15 car today, but he ruined his day with that move."
He did. Yeah. Especially to drop to 11th in points. Because he was third in points last week, I believe.
He's been second or third.
Bubba dropped all year. 8 positions in the points. That's crazy. And that kind of shows how tight it is kind of at the top.
Yeah.
To be fair, okay, bro, he's in a 4-way tie for 8th place. So wow. I found the scorecard. But that's wow. It's tight. That's why he lost all those positions.
Yeah. But there was someone found out on social media that Hocevar did take Bubba and someone else 3 wide, and that's probably where the frustration stemmed. But that's a Hocevar thing. So I will say what Bubba did, if that was payback, that isn't a good look, taking out 15 cars or whatever it was. But at the same time, people, myself included, have said, well, if you don't like how Carson Hocevar drives, you should do something about it.
You could yeah, but there's
maybe don't
somewhere in the middle
out.
I catch back up to him in a few laps and I move him. I don't overdrive the corner there
and take myself out.
I will say, restarts, just from being on iRacing, it can be hard on tracks with braking zones to misjudge stuff. It's really easy to misjudge stuff rather, just because you have to brake a little bit earlier if there's traffic in front of you. But if you're trying to be aggressive, you don't want to brake earlier. So I get it. It was probably a mistake that was fueled by frustration, which is what Bubba said. So it's not like he kind of took responsibility there, just not in the most obvious way. But I'm whatever about it, because at the same time, it is Carson Hocevar kind of getting what he deserves in a way.
I think I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
So this race wasn't the best, I don't think. I think we've had much better Martinsville races in the last couple years.
Worse, to be fair.
We've also had much worse, but we've had much better ones too recently.
We saw a lot of beating and banging today. We're talking about moments of and yes, these were fueled by restarts, but still, there was some decent moments, especially lap traffic. There was some drama. Denny trying to get around, and Byron took the lead from Denny in stage 1. There was some good racing. But there is something to say that maybe how much can you really do with this car at short tracks?
Yeah.
But sometimes we get boring races. That's also true. And there are different storylines. When we come back here in the fall, we could see the same race, but it's a lot more exciting because there's championship contenders involved. If Denny's fighting for the championship, then that's
as I was just going to say, if Denny drives the way he did today in the fall in Martinsville, we're going to be talking about, oh my gosh, Denny is fighting so hard for this championship to finally get it, because Martinsville in the fall is actually going to matter if you win one of the 2 races before it.
And he might also be more aggressive to Chase if he catches him, although he would have to catch him first, which he wasn't really able to do today. But that it would make it a lot more intense. I think we are also getting into the point of the season. This kind of happened last year where it's like NASCAR's been back for like, almost 2 months now. We're getting a little burnt out from the beginning of the season hype. And if there's a boring race, it's like, it kind of just, at least it was 400 laps. Thank God it's not 500 laps anymore.
I made a post on Blue Sky that said, let's be serious. Do we actually need 2 500 lap Martinsville races? And then I realized, thanks to someone I follow named Fred Smith commenting, being like, well, I have good news, or something like that. And then I realized that this race is 400 laps.
Yeah. You were thinking at Bristol probably, because Bristol still has 2 500 lap races.
But I wouldn't hate if they made this one 300 because this was just like, oh my God.
I think they should get rid of the stages because the race would actually go by quicker anyways.
Yeah.
And it would
They had a caution that took forever at one point in the race too. I did my taxes during this race, by the way. That was a good idea. I got that knocked out. I got to skip like 100 laps basically.
Well, speaking of doing taxes and stuff, like I want to see Kyle Busch. I want to see how many times Kyle Busch can get lapped. Like I want that to be calculated.
Okay.
Yeah. He was also sponsored by FICO, but I don't think that has to do with taxes. That's a credit score. So adult stuff.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Kyle Busch what a horrible season he's having. I am standing on my prediction from early season that he's done in Cup after this year. Who's going to want him? Why would you hire him for Cup ride?
The Kyle Busch fans on Twitter want him.
Yeah, in the 48 car. I'm sure that would work great.
Going back to Hendrick, that'd be some aura of it. No, that's not happening, brother.
Suarez is actually running decent. So I don't... We'll see. We'll see what the vibes are in like August. But
I could see Kyle Busch at Spire. But again, all 3 of their drivers, they look a lot like RFK right now, where all 3 of their drivers are together in points right at the cut line.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, why mess that up?
Kyle Busch just like last week or week before was like, yeah, I want to do the truck championship still if a team will hire me.
I could see Kyle Busch. I don't know if this will happen, like taking part owner stake in Spire. And
I think he's done with the ownership stuff.
Well, I mean, like a very small. Yeah, that's true. He is kind of done. But either way, like run full season Spire and trucks and then like run the Daytona 500 for Spire and a 4th car. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because just to try to get the Daytona 500, because that's really the only thing Kyle Busch has left to do, to be fair. He's done everything.
Doing the Daytona 500 with Spire. I could see that.
That is really the only thing left he has to do.
I really think if he were to win that, he'd be like, bye.
He doesn't need to do anything else. He's already done. Besides, like the truck championship and the Daytona 500 are the only things he has not done.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool how every single veteran that we have in the sport, they're missing something.
Yeah.
They're not like Jimmy Johnson, who like did everything, right? Like Denny's missing a championship. Brad's missing a 500 and a few other crown jewels. And I find that, I don't know. I just find that kind of fascinating.
It's cool. Like Denny Hamlin's still missing the Brickyard.
Yeah. Denny's missing the Brickyard.
And the championship, obviously.
Right.
But anyway, let's go back to Martinsville. This wasn't that good of a race. We did have the increased horsepower, which made Phoenix better, I thought, but didn't really work out here. But we have a comment from Dirt, Patreon member Dirt. It says, tires mean nothing when everyone pits together at Martinsville. We got to get rid of stage yellows or adjust the stages to where they make more sense. Shifting is also still a problem.
I feel like NASCAR's... what's it called? NASCAR's kind of renaissance back to the more traditional aspects of stock car racing. It's going to take longer. Like, I think if they could snap their fingers and redesign the next gen car right now, I think it would not have a diffuser. I think it would not have this weird transmission.
In hindsight, yeah, they've definitely.
I think they'd make it a lot more traditional. I think the next generation of car, when it comes in however many years, will probably be like that. But because especially we're getting to the point now where it's like
they're probably working on it. I bet
they've done just about everything they can. Like they could add even more horsepower, but the engine builders are really not going to like that. We haven't had more than 750 horsepower since, I think it's been a decade. I'd have to double check, but again, I really don't think this race was like horrible. I think it was just lacking storylines, if that makes sense.
Well,
and that could be a Fox problem.
I think that's a Fox problem.
It could be, but again, I was kind of interested in stage 3 the whole time because I'm watching this Denny battle. I'm seeing if Denny can get by Chase. Yeah. Was it if it ended up into an actual battle, that would have been cool, but it didn't, and maybe that is because of the package. And
we had another Patreon comment from Jesse who said it was definitely an interesting race to watch. Leave it the short track Martinsville to bring the fun. So Jesse liked it. And
I was interested before that caution came out too, because I was wondering if Chase Elliott could somehow win the race with 2 stops, but then I was actually like thinking about it more and I was like,
because at that point he was losing a ton of spots at that point before the caution came out.
But he was
not spots, but time.
Yeah, but he was at least like leading at the halfway point of the stage, which was I don't know if that's actually how it works, but I'm like, well, if he's leading at this halfway point, then he could probably make that time back up. I don't know. I'm gay, but it was interesting. That's why, again, I think these races need to just get rid of stages, let them play out more naturally. We'll get to see Kyle Busch get lapped 4 times. The tire strategies will get more diverse. I remember just watching old 2012 races, and it's just like, it's a huge debate on like when to pit.
You know, here's a question for you, Zach. You said recently as last year that the playoffs will go away, and we thought that'd be further down the road. It happened. We have the chase now. Do you think stages could be on their way out? Because I don't think anyone likes them, right? Like, everyone kind of accepts them, but I don't think they're as hated as like the playoffs were. But it's also like they cause a lot of unnecessary problems with the racing.
The strongest thing about stages are the stage points and the fact that
I want to keep those.
And they kind of, because they can mitigate, you know, NASCAR chaos. But
they really don't. It's overtime that does the chaos.
And that's that's really only for tracks like super speedways. And then, overtime, get rid of overtime if you don't want the chaos, to be honest.
Yeah. And the stages just add time to the race at this point.
I don't know if I like rewarding points in the middle of the stages. So IMSA has their like endurance championship at the endurance races, and they have something kind of similar to stage points where at the 2-hour mark or whatever they reward points. But then IMSA fans, they're like, that's kind of weird because you have to like change your strategy to make sure you're leading at the correct time. Yeah, but it might interfere with you trying to win the race. That's why even if you got rid of stage cautions, I don't know if I want to keep stage points. Like races like the Indy 500, they're so cool, and it's about who's first on lap 200, and you work on that from lap 1.
Yeah.
Who knows when the cautions are going to fall? I feel like we just need to get back to can we just run a simple 400 lap race?
Yeah.
Like, it will make the race go by quicker.
Because really, I was just like, well, let me knock this out. Let me do this other thing, and then I'll pay more close attention once we're in stage 3.
Stage 1 and 2 don't have stakes. It's kind of like the old point system. It's like you're only going to pay attention to the end because that's all that matters.
Which, like, I will say, at the track, I've seen an argument for stages that it's nice to have like a little break to go to the bathroom, get some food and stuff when you're at the track. But at the same time, like when I'm not going to go to the bathroom or get food, I'm just kind of like, okay, here we go. We got to wait 10 minutes.
I feel like 10, the compromise for that is like just a halfway break. Like at the halfway point, like have instead of 2 stages, especially for the truck series need this. Just have a caution at halfway and reward like maybe a certain amount of stage points. You could change the scale since there's only 1 stage, but again, I don't know. We need just to go back to traditional racing. And stages really hurt the truck series because they have like stupid stage numbers sometimes.
Like 20 laps a lot of the time.
20 laps, yeah. One more thing on stages. I think I'm glad you brought it up though. I remember someone.
It's a good conversation. Yeah,
it is. Someone brought up that all 3 stage lengths should be completely different. Like stage 1 should be a sprint. Stage 2 should be like an intermediate kind of length, and then stage 3 should be like at least the last half of the race. So that's,
I feel like it should, stage 3 should always be more than half the race, I think, or at least half.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
like
never
it'd be
that
cool
way.
if like, you
That's
know,
the way, though.
stage 1 is no pit stops, stage 2 is 1 pit stop, stage 3 is 2 pit stops. That's like my kind of ideal, but
Yeah.
I don't know how
Vary the strategy of it.
I don't know how the math for that would work at a lot of tracks. And again, no stages would help the Daytona 500 and super speedway racing too, because it would spread the pack out, and now
road
you
courses
can't just
too. That year we tried it with the road courses was great, and NASCAR didn't like it. Because
I mean, the 2 races, they were kind of boring races, but that was not
the strategy was fun though.
It was. And
Yeah.
we saw a battle at the end, Chase Elliott, Michael McDowell at Indy. But anyways,
point standings. Do you have a graphic, Zach? I don't remember.
yes, but it's not cropped, so
Okay.
have fun. Have fun looking at all these numbers if it wants to pop
Okay.
up.
If you can squint, you can kind of read it.
And neighbor will zoom and scroll. Wait, how does this work? We're learning on the fly here. Why is it zooming out? That doesn't make any sense. When you press the plus, it should zoom in. Wait, never mind. It's not being...
Well, this is from Reddit, xfile365, I think that says, right?
Yes.
Tyler Reddick is still the points leader. Shocker. He is 82 points ahead of Ryan Blaney. Denny Hamlin's minus 94. Chase Elliott minus 104. And William Byron rounds out top 5 with minus 115. All the winners, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That is cool.
And Chase has been up here before the win, too.
And that's the thing about Chase Elliott. Like, this win is just a nice little bonus. He's already consistent enough to stay. Like, my thing is in the chase is he's going to be in the top 5 in points. I feel like he probably will be the best Hendrick car in the chase. I'm kind of calling that now. I think he'll be the highest finishing Hendrick guy, unless Larson just goes on a tear. But I'm saying, like, if Elliott goes on a tear in the chase and wins, you know, just pops off a win at anywhere. It could be Talladega, it could be Charlotte, it could be Kansas like he did last year, it could be Martinsville like he did today. Like, that 9 team, if they can, you know, if Alan Gustafson, I didn't say his name right.
Gustafson.
Let's
sound it out.
If Alan can get that, if give Chase the ball and Chase can execute and win the race more, he could win the championship. He might be Chevrolet's best. He might be Chevrolet's kind of dark horse to actually win this championship. Because otherwise, I think it's going to come out of the Toyota camp, or it's Blaney. I mean,
yeah,
this is why I love points. I feel like you're looking at your championship contenders at the top of the point standings.
Exactly.
Which, duh.
Which, like, and by the way, Ty Gibbs is still 6 in points. Like, he gained, not still, but he gained 5 spots. Is up to 6 now.
Ahead of Christopher
impressive.
Bell.
Ahead of Bell, who's 7th. Then it's Keselowski, Larson, and
Brad. I'm watching Brad. Second best Ford.
And then if we go down just a bit closer to the 16th cut line, Shane Van Gisbergen gained a spot. 14th, really good run at Martinsville for him.
11th.
He qualified like 5th, right? He was up front most of the day. Good run for him.
He's not messing around, man.
Then it's Hocevar, who's plus 13, Suarez plus 11. And then below the cut line, you have Michael McDowell minus 11, Cindric minus 18, and Chastain minus 31. Cindric was like 30th in points for a minute there, so he's gained quite a bit back.
I'll tell you what, Chase Briscoe did not have the best run today.
No.
Yeah, and that Martinsville will do that. Like, there's certain drivers that just kind of struggle.
I saw a theory that they switched the 54 and 19 cars. What do you think about that?
Can you go into more detail? Like, what, like the team, like
not the teams, but just the equipment.
Well,
I don't think they switched the teams.
Well, the equipment's all the same anyways. It's all about the setups and the crew chief secrets. So how do you even...
I don't know, Zach. I just thought that was an interesting thing because suddenly Ty Gibbs is running really well.
Unless, like, the engines are different and they're giving better... I think... Or, though, okay, what that could also be is, like, resource time in terms of, like, sim. like sim time. And maybe it was just purely on accident since Ty Gibbs was kind of the weakest link and they're trying to have him catch up to the rest.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I don't know exactly how the teams work, but like equipment's like, I don't know if the next, because these are all spec parts. So I don't really know if equipment can be like that, but there's a multitude of other resources that go into it. And
I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
It is. All. I mean, Ty Gibbs, he's won at Martinsville before in Xfinity, so it's not bad. He's honestly not even he's had some good runs at Martinsville before in the Cup car, actually. Yeah. But yeah, that's his fifth straight finish in the top 6.
Yeah. I also want to shout out Josh Berry, who had a top 10 today. He gained 7 spots in the championship. He's now 25th.
And it's a Josh Berry racetrack. Like, yeah, you better run good at Martinsville. You're Josh Berry. Like, that's what I've always loved about Martinsville. It's like the random races. Like AJ Allmendinger used to always finish top 10 here in whatever equipment he was in.
Yeah.
Where did he finish?
I'm looking throughout here.
27.
Zane Smith lost some spots and points. Kyle Busch is 24th.
Okay, that's actually impressive.
We talked about Kyle Busch earlier. I thought he would be lower.
I thought he was going to be lower. That's pretty good. That's actually pretty. He's ahead of Austin Dillon. So
yeah, he's ahead of his teammate.
Right.
Todd Gilliland, really disappointing. He gained 2 spots. He's in 28th.
Yeah. How long?
Riley Herbst is down to 30th.
How long until Ross Chastain, if ever, overtakes SVG in points?
Chastain has been picking up like in the summer, if he does. Like late May, like the 600 through like June, July. Right. So maybe around then, because there's less road courses now. We have Watkins Glen coming up in a few weeks.
San Diego.
And San Diego.
Sonoma. So, but at that same time, that's when SVG is going to gain a lot of points. So
true. Yeah, because Sonoma's
there's still 3 road courses left, and I mean, SVG finished better than him today, and of course, Chastain got put on a risky strategy. So that didn't help at all anyways, but yeah, I love points.
I'm so happy we have points again. Oh my gosh.
And I think the top 3 right now, Reddick, Blaney, and Hamlin, are kind of the ones to watch for this regular season championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, they are the ones that have won the most races. So
we can move on away from NASCAR unless you have anything else to add.
Nope.
All right. Well, IndyCar was at Barber, and
Alex Palou won.
Alex Palou won. Shocker. Can I have a hot take?
Well, it's hot topic. Oh no, it's not hot topics.
We're not hot topics. This is the IndyCar segment. Hot take. Having IndyCar's like at a pivotal moment of their existence right now, and I feel like they always are, but especially right now when
sorry, they always are. They always are.
But having Alex Palou come in and just dominate is like, it's awesome, right? It's really cool for like the history books and everything. But for that to be happening amidst this uncertain time, and then you bring in the whole Fox aspect where they are putting on the worst coverage I've ever seen for IndyCar, and it makes it borderline unwatchable at times because they don't cover strategy. And they actually tried doing strategy today. I don't know if you noticed. They had like graphics up, like predicting when they would pit, if they were going to do a 2-stop or 3-stop. So I appreciated that. It still wasn't good though.
They need it on the ticker. They need it like they need to show like last pit lap. I feel like it was never on the screen.
Always show the tire, or more often. It just pops up this hideous tire graphic.
I don't need to know what tire they're on. I do like to know what tire they're on right now, but it's like, is that
when did they last pit?
Like, is that new reds, old reds? Like, I don't have context.
Yeah, and they don't. NBC used to give that context.
For a road course race that has no cautions, if you want to keep people engaged, you need to like give context on the ticker. But you just have to.
But back to my take. My hot take of being they added the hybrids. Alex Palou's dominating, and you have a bad broadcaster buying in to the product, the series itself. It's just a bad mix Like, I know ratings are up and everything. That was a low bar anyway.
They had a good start to the season.
But it's just like, man, it's just not interesting. The hybrid has made these traditional road courses not that exciting to watch. And then you have a dominant performance that makes it less exciting, especially when the broadcaster will just follow the leader around 90% of the race.
Yeah, and Barber,
like, it's just kind of bad timing.
Barber's like everything that's wrong with IndyCar, I feel like. It's
and
not
I love
like a
Barber.
I love Barber too, and it is at this point a traditional IndyCar track. It's just it's not like a flashy street race. It's not an oval. It's kind of just relying on the fact that it's a really cool, unique track, but a lot of people, honestly, even the viewers don't really get to kind of see that.
It used to be such a good track, just with this same car like 10 years ago, because this car is like 20 years old at this point.
And we did see some actual like good passes today. Like they were still sending it into, I think it's called turn 5, like that hairpin after the first few turns. There was still some good racing. It's just Fox doesn't really cover the long term like strategy.
It's just frustrating
context. It is.
And I know we have a lot of new people watching, but like 3 years ago, guys, I was like the number one IndyCar hype guy. Like I loved IndyCar so much. Like I loved it more than I did NASCAR for a while. It's just frustrating. Like I borderline don't care about it anymore. And yeah, part of that is probably because Joseph Newgarden doesn't compete like at the highest level anymore on the road courses and everything. But the actual product is just not that good. And the broadcast is bad. And then it's dominated by a single guy. And I'm not saying that last one is probably the least important part of my argument here, but it's just frustrating. And
they don't help.
Like, no,
for you at least. Like the Joseph thing doesn't help. The Alex Palou thing doesn't help for everybody, right? I was wondering if Lee Diffie just carried IndyCar for me for a few years, but I don't. And also, just as I've gotten older, my Sundays are sacred. My Sundays are sacred, and when you double up with NASCAR, I don't expect you to not do that. And at least they didn't actually like double up at the same time. But it's just like it's so hard to have the energy to watch all that racing in one day, and that's first world problems.
It's just like I want to enjoy my time, and I feel like sometimes I'm kind of like, oh, I have to do this because of FOMO. I need to see what happens so I can talk about it. And then like nothing happens. So I'm just like, okay.
That's because there really isn't. I mean, we can try to put this,
like there's nothing really to talk about the IndyCar. Like, I'm sorry, you guys.
We can try to put this in the context of the championship. Like, okay, Alex Palou closed in on Kyle Kirkwood for the points lead. Christian Lundgaard had a great day. He's third in points now. David Malukas had a great result, finished in front of Joseph. But like,
Joseph is fifth in points. Yeah.
Like, cool. Joseph had a top 10. Okay. We could probably do better than that. But
like, I just feel like with IndyCar right now, it's just the same thing unless we're at an oval, and the ovals are where IndyCar really shines, especially with the current car.
And it's what makes IndyCar.
Yes.
And at this point, and again, when I say Barber is kind of the worst things about IndyCar thrives when they're at ovals and they have a good racing product, or they're like, and I hate to admit this, or they're going to these cool kind of street courses or other locations that have prestige, like Long Beach or
St. Pete to an extent,
or like Arlington was a great show, and St. Pete is too, because of the atmosphere and the fact it's a huge event. And as controversial as it is, the Washington DC race will at least have people talking about IndyCar.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be substantial for the sport. I don't know. I don't want to say good or bad, but it will be substantial. whatever that weekend looks like.
That's a good word. It'll be substantial.
Substantial. Yes, correct. Barber's just a race. It's just a race.
And that's
the racetrack's
fine.
cool.
We're
going to have. It's just like kind of like Martinsville today, and Alex and I, we both had a busy week. We're tired. We're mentally tired. We're still recording the podcast. We still watched the races today. They were great, but not great. But we did it.
Yay.
Yay.
Like Dora says, we did it.
Thank you, fish, for swimming. That's we
have a Patreon comment from Dirt who said Christian Lundgaard is so good. I hope he can help elevate the rest of McLaren and get Palou back to the front because the 5 teams day was atrocious.
Oh, that's why I was like, someone's missing here. I was like,
yeah, from the point standings. Yeah, 17. Lundgaard finished 2nd today and Palou finished 17th. Baby,
guess who was right behind Palou Award? Nolan Siegel. Girl, you better pick. Is he forgetting to shift? Like, what? I mean, just a rough day. Just a rough day. It happens. Barber's, but he's won at Barber before.
He's won at Barber a few years ago.
I don't know. That's interesting. One more thing about IndyCar. I was watching the grid that Fox does, the drivers introducing themselves. Mm-hmm. Why the hell does Marcus Armstrong say that he's a Guitar World pro? What does he say? He mentions Guitar Hero. Sorry, he's a Guitar Hero like world champion or something.
He mentions this in the starting grid.
Yes, because everyone.
I didn't catch that the first week or two. That must be added.
I caught it today, and I was just like, because it's the traditional like name, hometown, team. And then he just adds, "I'm a Guitar World, Guitar Hero, Hero World Champion" or something. I was like, okay, baby, this isn't like an icebreaker at your new job. That's what I say when I got my current job. When I started there, they're like, what's your superpower? And I said, I'm a Mario Kart professional.
That's a good one.
It was.
So Scott McLaughlin had a pretty scary crash in practice. Did you see this?
I did see that. He
spun backward into a wall and then went through the barrier. And he was perfectly fine. But I noticed that like TMZ was posting about it. A bunch of like news outlets that never talk about racing were posting about it as if he like got hurt or something or worse.
That's weird.
Which is like, that's when people talk about IndyCars, when they get hurt or like, worse.
Like they'll do it with NASCAR when like someone flips maybe. But
like he did go through the wall, which is not good. And hopefully IndyCar and Barber are looking at that because that's not good.
Yeah, but I want to push back on that a little bit because
it's how is it good for cars to go through the wall, Zach? Please explain.
I will say the energy got dissipated. That's why he's not hurt.
Okay.
He was able to, that car still moved a lot as it hit the barriers, and that's good. It's not sending all that energy into the driver.
True.
Nothing important. No fans were behind that. And maybe that's why the certain catch, fence, and barrier was designed like that. I'm not really sure. It was obviously a fast part. Well, all of Barber are fast parts of the track. There's no slow. There's like barely any slow sections of Barber. So it is maybe something to look at. That's all I really have to say. I think there's worse barriers and worse walls that people have hit this year. Yeah.
I'm glad Scott's okay. He said that it looked worse than it actually was.
Exactly. That's what, exactly.
Do you have anything else to say about IndyCar? Because I really don't. Sorry to be like a pessimist about IndyCar, but I
did you see Bob Pockrass's tweet about Georgina?
I did see that. That made me.
That was funny. He said I'm at the tweet up. There was no tweet up at Barber, but he's like,
only Georgina showed up.
Only Georgina. I would have showed up with Georgina. Me, Bob Pockrass, and Georgina just queening out next to the giant spider.
Is this the big three?
That damn spider. I love that spider. See, I can't say that Barber's a boring track because that damn spider.
Barber has a giant lady in the lake. It's you see it's a big head and then her knees.
A gay person designed that track. That's where why is it in Alabama? First of all,
why is it? I don't
feel safe going there.
Right.
I'm not going to Alabama. See, it's all those are just secret codes. Georgina's a secret code to signal you're safe here, queer people. You're safe here.
Georgina's a queer icon, actually.
Georgina is a queer icon. Thank you.
Yeah.
We should have her on the gay podcast.
Georgina, if you're listening.
April Fools. April Fools is in a few days. God.
Well, let's move into hot topics. We have one thing. It's Formula One. Kimi Antonelli won.
It's a good day for Twinks.
Don't get mad at me. Where was F1 racing? Because I have no idea.
Suzuka.
I'm so disconnected. Okay.
Happy cherry blossom season.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. Haas had a cute little, or no, they had a Godzilla livery this year. They had a cherry blossom livery last year. But speaking of Haas, Ollie Behrman had a really scary kind of crash. He was catching Franco Colapinto in the Alpine. Colapinto was harvesting energy. He was going very slow. Behrman was pushing or deploying, whatever the hell they want to call an F1 now. And he kind of had to swerve, like take avoiding action, ran off the track, hit the wall pretty gnarly, and wasn't like I believe he's like okay, but he was like a little roughed up. And he had to get, they had to like do x-rays on him to make sure he was all okay. And do you have the link to the statement? I forgot to look that up. The FIA statement. Let me pull that up because the FIA released a statement because, this was a really serious crash, and it's kind of getting to the point where we cannot ignore it anymore. So let me go ahead and pull up the statement on the screen.
So last week, Zach, you had brought up that you would think that F1 and the FIA were really going to look at this car and perhaps make some changes to it. And you think this is potentially a part of that?
Yeah. So let's go. I'm going to go ahead and read. Well, maybe not all of it, but quote, since their introduction, the 2026 regulations have been the subject of ongoing discussions between the FIA teams, power unit manufacturers, drivers, FOM, your mom. Oh my God, they mentioned everybody. Sorry. Sorry. That wasn't a quote. By design, these regulations include a number of adjustable parameters, particularly in relation to energy management, which blah, 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 blah. Any potential adjustments, particularly those related to energy management, require careful simulation, detailed analysis. The FIA will continue to work in close and constructive collaboration with all stakeholders. Blah, blah, blah. Further updates will be communicated in due course. So they're not, I hate this statement. They said, we're not really changing anything, but we'll think about it.
We're going to think about it.
We're going to think about it. Any speculation regarding the nature of potential changes would be premature. Okay, you got a month. I said you have a month to figure this out. But I think it's kind of like NASCAR and the next gen car. They're kind of handcuffed because they have committed so much money to this car, these regulations. It's not like you can just snap your fingers and change it. It's just like how, NASCAR, they can't just change the major parts and the major design of the next gen car. Yeah. They can't. They've already invested too much in it. They have to get they have to use it. Yeah. The thing is, I don't know if F1 has an out here, and they even went into this weekend. I believe they changed how much energy that you can harvest, I believe, to kind of to not promote as much harvesting, I guess, or that you won't have to harvest as much. I don't remember exactly what they adjusted, but they tried to do something going into Suzuka. Suzuka's a very fast track, kind of like Barber, actually. It's very fast, a lot of high speed corners. If you need to recharge energy, there's not a lot of good corners to do it. And that's kind of why it's dangerous, because it's, Colapinto decided, okay, I need energy for the straightaways. I'm going to go ahead and harvest in these really high speed corners. Ollie Behrman behind him was not planning to harvest. He wanted to push, and he just caught him way too fast. It's just dangerous. And it's right. And, we watched George Russell's qualifying lap, and it's like he's not even pushing through the turns. Is this racing? That's up for, people to judge. I certainly don't think it's the most interesting, but it is what it is. So, right. That's all I have to say about Formula One. I didn't watch the race. I have no interest in buying Apple TV. Me neither. Or Will Buxton threw shade. Do you think Will Buxton, because these regulations, they were obviously talked about before they started this year. I think Will Buxton saw the future and was like, I'm out. I'm going to go to IndyCar.
He's such an interesting person because he was like the F1 guy for a minute because of Drive to Survive, and now he's the lead commentator for IndyCar.
it was weird when he went to IndyCar because I'm like, what do you mean? F1
Yeah, like
is
why would you do that?
I think we know why he did it. I think he just, this is me making a lot of assumptions, but I think he just had the foresight to be like, oh, this isn't, I don't want to be in F1 anymore. I want to cover real racing, which, okay,
Right.
fair enough. But yeah, I think do you have anything else to say about F1 before we move on?
Kimi Antonelli won the race, and he's the youngest points leader ever, I believe I read, which is pretty cool.
That is
He's
cool.
only 19, I think, right? That's cool.
He won China, didn't he, too? So this is now... So that means Mercedes. So Mercedes has swept the season so far, which, okay, duh.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to say because
I'm very disconnected from F1 right now. I'm just busy in my life, so I'm out.
I mean, we're having trouble watching IndyCar. You think we're gonna watch F1? They were on when I got home last night. I got home really late from thing I was at. So yeah.
Well, Zach, we're not making fantasy picks today because there's no racing next week.
Damn it! I just realized Hamlin was my fantasy pick. I hate Chase Elliott. Damn it! I mean, at least I had the points lead, but damn it!
And my pick was Blaney. You doored me. I was Blaney.
Good. I would have swept the weekend.
For Martinsville, I had Blaney, you had Hamlin, so you now got a point there. It's now 5-2. And then Barber, Zach, you got Palou. You got a win. You're on the board.
Man, I feel so fortunate that I picked Alex Palou and that he won the race. I didn't think it was going to happen, actually. I thought I made the wrong pick.
I went with Scott Dixon. So IndyCar points is 9-3. We have picked the winner every week so far in IndyCar. I've picked 3 of them and you picked 1.
We got to keep the streak up.
Yeah.
Wait, that's kind of fun. We got to keep the streak up.
Last year, we picked 7 of the 17 winners, I think it was. Something like that.
Wow.
So
that's cool. I wonder how many we can pick this year. Okay. We got to beat that record.
Yeah.
The most competitive, high-scoring season of gay racing IndyCar fantasy.
Let's get to 30 points, one of us.
How many races?
Is that possible?
That would be 10 wins. I mean, well, you're making it look possible, to be fair. So
yeah,
you're not that far off. But
so the next IndyCar race is Long Beach on April 19th. And NASCAR's off for Easter, but they'll be back the week after with Bristol.
Bristol? 500 laps at Bristol in the spring?
In this car.
On Fox? When I'm telling you, I think that's my least favorite race on the schedule. I like Pocono better. It's
Pocono. What's with the Pocono shade?
Listen, I like Pocono. Like, I think
more than this.
Bristol needs to be on dirt if we're gonna run this in the spring, and I cannot believe I'm saying that.
Remember when you were like, I'm gonna go to the Bristol Spring Race when they take the race off the dirt, and then you never went because you lied, and now you're like, bring back the dirt.
Oh wait, what are the tires going to do? I forgot the tires were weird last fall. Okay,
that's true.
I'm tired of the tires gaslighting us at Bristol. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
It's torture. It's mental torture. Like, what is going to happen? Anyway, we'll talk about Bristol when we get to Bristol. But
yeah, this was a more chill, laid back, less structured episode. We were just kind of yapping. I liked it.
I mean, we are a podcast, so
yeah,
that is our job to yap. And we're
because I kind of let us go off topic because we were going to end like at 30 minutes if I stuck to our little programming here. So.
Yeah, you brought up that stage racing. That added 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you want me to complain about stage racing? Yeah. I got you, Alex. I got you. Anything else you want to ask me?
Well,
I made an episode with Avery.
That's what I was just going to ask you about. You did an episode with Avery Hage. You talked about the 12 Hours of Sebring. How was that? And why should everyone watch it or listen to it?
I think if you want to learn more about IMSA and just get into IMSA a little bit more, it's just a good episode to listen to. Or if you are already into IMSA and you're just looking for some like-minded people to talk about it, which is why this podcast exists. Go ahead, check it out. We also talked a little bit about like Max Verstappen's venture into the Nürburgring 24 hours. He's been doing some of the, I don't know what they call it, the endurance series. They run a bunch of endurance races at Nürburgring before they have the big race in May, the 24-hour race. So Max has been running some of those, been pretty successful. So we just talked about that a little bit.
Cool.
Speaking of, I forgot to bring this up. Verstappen's definitely not coming back to F1. There's no way.
No.
There's no way.
He did say like that he needs to think about life.
Girl, I've been
so
there.
Funny. He is so funny.
He's the funniest race car driver on the planet. He really is.
He is.
Even the weird stuff he says, like, oh God. Anyways, but that's all I really got to talk about today for Barber and Martinsville. But I'm excited for the week off. I'll watch O'Reilly and trucks at Rockingham. I'll definitely watch, but we have no plans to record next week. If something really crazy happens, I might hop on and record an episode. Like,
y'all ain't catching me here next week.
Yeah,
Bye.
You're traveling, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going home. I'm going to watch the Mario movie with my family. So.
Oh my God, yeah, the Mario movie. But Cletus McFarlane will be in the O'Reilly race, so I will. If something happens,
if he causes the big one on lap 5, Zack will be here to talk.
I might have to make a video, but I also might have Sunday scaries, so we'll see. But
understandable.
Anyways, yeah, because all right. Well, Alex, let's go ahead and you go ahead and leave
out here. So $5 a month Patreon subs got this episode a day early. Thank you to them. We did this little Sunday night recording thing last couple weeks, and it's our
spring special.
Early. Yes.
Our spring cherry blossom special. There you go.
Yes. So thank you to all of our Patreon members. Our $2 and up Patreon members get to comment their thoughts on the races as well. We talk with them throughout the episode. Thank you to them. Patreon.com/GayRacingPod if you'd like to join. And like and subscribe on YouTube and leave 5 stars on all the podcast platforms. And follow Zack and I on all the socials at Gay Racing Pod, at New Gaiden, and at Zack Racing.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.